Greetings, Berkshire County. Thank you for joining us on iBerkshire's TV. Today is going to be a special day. One of my favorites. You hear me say that a lot because we have a lot of business partners who come join us here on the show who do great things in the community, and this is certainly one of them. I'm joined today by a couple members of Adams Community Bank, Charlie O'Brien, President and CEO, Maureen Barron, Senior Vice President of Lending, and this gentleman to my right is Jim Bush, a selectman from the town of Adams. Jim, you guys are doing a veterans program that people might have seen somewhat in the area just over the border of New York to honor the veterans who have passed serving our country. It's an unbelievable program, and Adams Community stepped up to help you make it a reality. Tell us a little bit how it started and what it's probably going to mean to everybody in town.
Okay, well, I was at the Red Carpet restaurant having coffee in the morning with George Haddad, like I do every other week. And George approached me and asked me what I thought about a program honoring our veterans that were killed in action. Like you said, they're across the border. Troy and a few other cities and towns in New York State have this program. And I said, this sounds great. So I started talking. I know a lot of people at Legion. John Bordeaux has books on it, and John Moyer is very interested in it. So John said, okay, I'll join your committee. So now we have a committee of 5 that we sat down, we're discussing it, and we started looking, it was coming to fruition really quickly, a lot quicker than we thought it was going to.
It kind of had a momentum of its own, and it's going to involve these great-looking banners.
Yes.
And if you happen to drive through Troy, keep your eye out on a lot of the utility poles, because you can see them in Troy. A banner with a picture and also a rank. And
it's going to be ranked, date of birth, date of deceased.
Yeah.
It's also going to have what branch of service they're in. So.
And, of course, well, first of all, you, George, John, everybody involved, thank you for doing this. And, of course, the reality of life is things like this cost money. Now, you were prepared to do your fundraising, but
yes.
One day you got a phone call from Adams Community Bank, and we do have the president and CEO here, Charlie O'Brien. Charlie, tell us, why did you get involved? It may seem like an easy question, but not everybody called up and offered their help.
Well, we saw, I'm sorry, thank you for having us this morning,
Absolutely.
First of all, and thank you for allowing us to be part of this project. And it just seemed like I read the article in iBerkshires, and it just seemed like something that was very true to our core values and what we stand for at the bank. And gosh, it took about 2 seconds reading about honoring fallen veterans. Took 2 seconds to make that decision. Read the article. I called up Maureen Barron. Maureen has spearheaded other projects honoring veterans. We do something every year. She'll going to talk about that in a minute. But I called Maureen and I said, why don't you give Jim a call? And that's the phone call you're referring to. And it was a pretty easy decision for us.
It seems like every time I look up, Adams Community Bank is sponsoring one thing or another. And again, the community can't thank you enough. This is what makes us run out here in the Berkshires. This is Banners for Fallen Heroes, and you're going to see it. This will be a thing when you're driving through the downtown Adams corridor. Yes. This is not something that's going to happen a year from now or 2 years from now. It's going to be up by Memorial Day.
May 16th is our
target date.
Installation.
And there's going to be a little celebration. It's going to be about a week before the Memorial Day parade.
Correct.
So this is Banners for Fallen Heroes. Another thing that Adams Community Bank is going to be involved in, and you specifically, Maureen, is Wreaths Across America.
Yes.
I think, is this done in North Adams right now? Well, tell us all about it, if you would, please.
So, I think 3 years ago, a committee formed to do North Adams, Clarksburg, and Stamford. And they've been very successful in their fundraising, which the bank also supported. And for the past 2 Decembers, Adams Community Bank has had a number. The first year, I think it was 8 or 10 of us, and then this year it was 9 of us go in December to lay wreaths on the graves of fallen heroes in North Adams. Other groups do the other cemeteries, but we've been involved in North Adams. Our staff steps up every time, if it's for veterans or or for children, school children, we have staff that will step up and volunteer their Saturdays to do this.
And this isn't only, while the Banners for Fallen Heroes are veterans killed in action, these are all veterans. They've lived a full life, they've been buried with full honors, and you honor them every year.
Absolutely.
By placing wreaths on the grave around the holidays. And it's another thing that just makes Berkshire County, Berkshire County. And before we get to, there are a couple other things I want to talk to about Community Bank, but before we're going to do this at the end, and you'll see it up on your screen. If you'd like to donate to the project, even though Adams Community Bank is doing the most of the heavy lifting, there will be maintenance involved.
Correct.
In perpetuity, really. So if you want to give to the Banners for Fallen Heroes Fund, tell us how to do that, Jim.
They can mail a check to the town of Adams in care of me. In their memo, put Banners for Fallen Heroes,
Yeah.
whatever the amount is. Mary Beverly, our town accountant, has a separate account that's set up specifically for maintaining our banners. And also, the program's never going to stop. Unfortunately, there's going to be wars, and people are going to be shot in wars, and they're going to be honored. So this is going to be an ongoing thing.
This is going to be a rolling program.
Yes.
Just because you don't get in, maybe, or you're not ready or prepared to get in for the initial May 16th, you can get in touch. You can call 743-8300. You can call the town hall to get the paperwork started, because you will be using a picture of the fallen heroes, so they do need permission. Or you can also call the Council on Aging. They will have applications there as well.
Yes.
So if you want to donate, if you want to be part of the program, I'd say the best thing to do is either call Town Hall, ask for Deb Dunlap, or just visit Town Hall. They're always happy to see people dropping in. And as far as, you told me something a little bit off camera, Maureen, and Charlie, you want to speak to this too. The amount of volunteer hours that the employees give. You talked about giving up a Saturday to go adorn all the veterans' gravestones with wreaths. Talk about your employee volunteer program. It's just an amazing thing to see. It's like a little army of people.
Yeah, we last year was our 150th year as a bank. Started in 1869 in Adams, and the name Adams Community Bank, we've had that name since 2012 when we merged two banks together. And the name Community was very intentional, because we try to give back to our communities. And as we celebrated our 150th year, we had a committee together about how to do that. And one of the things, it was Maureen's idea to actually try to ramp up our volunteer hours. And Maureen tracked and led teams of people and kept a pipeline going of tracking projects that were available, and she can talk about some of the highlights there.
We knew that our employees were very involved in so many different, in their churches, in school, in youth programs, in educational programs, but we never tracked what the number of hours they really truly gave. So last year for our 150th, we started tracking 45 employees, which is almost half of our employees.
Wow.
Volunteered to be tracked and to submit information, and we started March 1st, ended September 30th, and that group of 45 people logged 1,825 hours volunteering.
That's basically a year's worth of labor.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
volunteering. I hear a lot of people say, geez, I want to volunteer. I don't know where to get started. It's hard to find the right thing. But I find that if you give most people the avenue,
yes,
they'll step up and do it.
So that's what we did. And it's not just in the northern Berkshire County.
Correct.
We're throughout the county. We have branches throughout the county. And we have people in southern Berkshire County, down in the Lee Lennox area, volunteering heavily. So it is really a county-wide project, and it's just great at giving back to the community. And what a great way to celebrate our 150th year, which was the best year we've ever had. The community is supporting us by growing each year. We're growing at an amazing pace. We appreciate that level of support from customers. We have a great reputation out there, and we give back to our communities through efforts like this and the charitable giving that we're doing.
So I just want to reiterate, Adams Community Bank did start in Adams. They are a bank, but the middle word is community. And I think you guys have shown your commitment to that in this program. And I can mention I was at a couple of events with you, and I want other people to follow suit. Everybody should be doing this if they have the means and methods. I cannot thank you guys enough for joining us. Today's program that we're talking about, Banners for Fallen Heroes. For more information, you can call or visit Adams Town Hall, 413-743-8300. You can donate. You can sign up if a loved one has been killed in action. Jim, Selectman from Adams, thank you so much. Maureen Barron, Charlie O'Brien from Adams Community Bank, a super thank you to you guys. Thank you for joining us and coming out here this morning. And I'll be seeing you all soon, I'm sure. Thank you for joining us on iBerkshires TV. Support the Banners for Fallen Heroes, and we'll see you soon.